All right, you are tuned into MMA Canada and very excited to be talking to an individual vying for that BFL Interim Lightweight Championship in the co-main event of BFL 85, which is getting ever closer. It goes down on October 16th, and Jeremy Kennedy taking on Nic Ouellet, and great having Nick back on the MMA Canada platform today. How are you doing, man?
Doing really good. Ready for a good show.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. And I guess when were you, I guess, made privy to this fight? Because definitely, like, in terms of, I guess, like the cachet of your different opponents you faced in your career without, disrespecting them, obviously. Like, I feel like this is like the biggest name opponent you've had so far, former UFC, PFL, Bellator vet, etc. Like, when was the offer initially put out for you and all that?
They offered it a couple weeks ago, like I'd say like 5 weeks ago. After one of my opponents fell through, I was booked for the same event at 145 against one of the top guys in the country, and he ended up pulling out because of an injury. So I was kind of in limbo for a bit there. And then they came to me with Jeremy Kennedy, and I couldn't say no to that. That's a huge fight for me, and I always want to fight the best guys, and he's back in BFL, so he's the best guy right now. So I want to figure this out.
And your track record, speaks well. I mean, fighting for interim and also lineal BFL gold and stuff like that. And obviously a belt on the line in this one. But like I was saying, I feel like all the moving parts here, I feel like this is such a massive one for you and everything like that. So yeah, really love to see that. Like it would seem like the cumulative experience you have in these BFL title fights would have, optimally prepared you for, this type of challenge and all.
Yeah, this is definitely the biggest fight of my career, and I'm ready to make the best of it. So I know he's an experienced guy, and I know he's one of the top guys in the country, and that's actually why I wanted to fight him. I remember telling my brother as soon as I saw that Jeremy was back in BFL, I was like, "That's the guy I want to fight. He's the guy." And a win against him puts me right where I want to be. So,
I was gonna say it'll put Powell River BJJ on the map that much more and everything like that, right?
oh yeah, that's always pretty cool.
Yeah, no, we'd love to see that. And I guess in terms of like the regular group of individuals you're kind of honing those skills with heading into this one, like who would you credit as like some of your predominant sparring partners or even just training partners in general here?
Well, I have my brother Raf and my training partner Nelson Sprue. They're my brothers. They're my main training partners. But I have other guys too. I have Scott Knapp, Eaker. I got a bunch of dudes like my dad. My dad is my main pad holder and my main striking coach. He's been helping me since I'm a kid. Obviously, full credit to them for my preparation. Full credit to my wife Dee that helps me behind the scenes and keeps me healthy that way in the mental side of things. And then I also travel around and go to Victoria this time. So I traveled and I went to train with Greg Lamoth from Martial Arts Unlimited. Super talented guys there, really, really high level striking, and also Van Al Jiu Jitsu in Victoria. So that's where I was for this camp, and full credit to my team for getting me ready, man. I'm good for 5 rounds if need be.
And I just love the family dynamics with your journey, man. Like it's cool you mentioned your brother and your dad and everything like that. And it seems like you guys kind of had like some formative experiences with a unique permutation of karate, Yosaikan, Budo, and everything like that. So just cool to see the family martial arts component to the whole thing.
Yeah, this is our life. This is what we do, and yeah, it's just awesome to live the dream.
And your journey is just so cool too, because like I go back to this anecdote a few times and I've probably referenced it a few times when, we've done these interviews and stuff like that. But I just think it really shows the MMA kind of mentality because I saw there was a quote with an MMA Empire interview you had done where you were talking about being a karate black belt and you did your first jujitsu class at 13 and you're like, oh, I got my ass kicked by a little girl named Abby Lloyd. And it's like just to see where you are with the jujitsu piece now too, after all of that. I mean, just really, speaks volumes. I guess just that kind of humble, learn from your experiences and everything like that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, jiu-jitsu changed my life 100%. And me and my brother always knew we wanted to do MMA, so jiu-jitsu obviously was a big step into that direction.
Yeah, no, and there's something about brother duos in combat sports too that always fires me up and stuff like that. Like I have a brother who I have watched a lot of MMA with and stuff like that. And there's a
Nice.
certain level of like being drawn to, that kind of pairing like the two brothers in combat sports. So, that must be cool for you and everything like that to, both be informing each other's journeys in this sport. And like you were saying, something you both have, dreamed about for a while.
Oh yeah, it's my main training partner since the get go. So we help each other push and we help each other get better. And there's no one like sparring with your brother, you know.
Yeah, and it's just cool because I remember your pro debut was featured on MMA on Point, like one of the bigger, I guess, MMA centric YouTube channels. One I certainly enjoy, but it seems like there's something about this fight, like even just in terms of like, the pedigree of your opponent, where it's like you could maybe even draw that additional attention on it and stuff like that. And I mean, beating, like I said, a former, UFC vet who's fought guys like Alexander Volkanovski and it being on UFC Fight Pass, I would really think that would really behoove a lot of future career goals that you would seem to have while also being focused on the task at hand.
100%. That's why I got into the sport is to figure out who's the baddest motherfucker. So basically, he's the baddest dude at my weight class right now, and once I take him out, I'm the baddest dude in my weight class. And again, the goal is to get to that higher level and see how far I can take it. I want to figure it out.
And what does that look like for you specifically? Because I've talked to a lot of fighters and I feel like it kind of ranges. Like some are very UFC focused and it's kind of like a myopic way they're looking at it. Like that's their singular kind of goal. Whereas I feel like some fighters are, just open to what might be out there, like, PFL out there, Ryzen. I mean, you could keep going on, obviously. Like, do you have any, I guess, specific vision in that kind of regard?
I'd say the UFC is definitely like the number one show that I want to be on. But my goal was not always just, hey, let's get in the UFC. My goal is to test myself and to see how far I can take this because I think I'm the best in the world. And I just take it one fight at a time. And of course, I want to be in the UFC one day because that's where the best guys are. So yeah, that's basically the goal is just keep testing myself against the best dudes in the country, and eventually I'm just gonna get there. I just don't want to rush, right? You see people rush and they don't look so good at the higher level. So I want to make sure I'm ready when I get there. And Jeremy Kennedy is a perfect big step for me.
And it seems like it's coming at a great time. Like I feel like we're already in a strong period for Canadian MMA where it very much seems like there's that perception of some sort of resurgence with it. But I mean, just with this UFC Vancouver card coming up and just some of the more recent, I guess, activity that the promotion has had in Canada, it just seems like we're in like a very good period right now. Like it's like we're teetering on the precipice of something big. So I mean, a cool time for the sport in Canada in that sense. Like it would seem like there's a certain swell of opportunity, like all the boats getting lifted by the high tide kind of sentiment almost.
100%. Yeah, this is huge. And also, obviously, the UFC's in town. So it just makes it that much bigger, you know? And yeah, I think Canadian MMA is booming. It's just, we just got to get those guys on that stage. I'm going to be one of those guys, and I'm going to stay there when I get there.
Yeah, and always good to get the combat sports related talk going. But I mean, you talk about being on stage. It looks like you took in a little bit of Korn and Gojira when they were on stage, and it looks like you had a really great time with that. How was that show? It would seem like a good time.
So fucking awesome. It was hard not to break my neck, but it was good. I was responsible.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know. It's
best
one of
show
those things.
ever.
Yeah, it's one of those things you get a bit older and it's like, oh, I wish I could bang my head, but I gotta be somewhat responsible with the vertebrae here a little bit. So I hear you.
Yeah, I got a fight in 2 weeks, but it was still very tough to not headbang that whole time. And yeah, it was a show of a lifetime. So yeah, good to like kind of relax, so to speak, and not think about the fight and just hang out with family and see one of the coolest bands ever.
Yeah, no, so awesome. I mean, it was awesome seeing Gojira play at the Olympics. I mean, that was such like a big surprise when I saw that. I guess that was last year there. And I mean, Korn kind of it's like MMA coded a little bit too. Like I always love how Tito Ortiz has that really brief appearance and Korn's got the life video. So yeah, no, glad to hear you had a fun time.
Yeah. Hell yeah, Gajiro was sick. They blew my mind. And yeah, when they played at the Olympics, I was blown away too. I was like, I can't believe one of the metal bands are playing for the opening of the Olympics. This is huge. Huge for metal.
Yeah, I loved it. Definitely a welcome visual for me. And I mean, I'm very open to all kinds of music for sure, but definitely a dyed in the wool metalhead too. So cool to see them perform in that sort of context. But speaking towards this upcoming performance here, I was seeing something on the BFL socials where it was outlining various odds related to the fight. And some of the lines are really painting a picture, like fight ending inside the distance is minus 920, and then fight ending by stoppage minus 480. So is there something to that? Are we thinking this one is going to end inside the distance? Do you have a particular vision in that kind of regard?
I never really pay attention on that, so I didn't really know. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I go for the kill, he goes for the kill, and we're both well-rounded guys, and we're not going to be looking to stall out, and we're going to be trying to put on a big ass show, and may the best man win. I think the odds know that, and yeah, should be a really interesting fight. I'm ready for it.
And I guess like what would you hope for the prevailing sentiment to be after this fight? Like I guess like media types who write articles about the latest goings on in combat sports, like what would you want, I guess, the prevailing sentiment to be with you after this fight? Like what do you want people to be talking about and fixating on and saying and all that?
I want people to be surprised because I think I'm the underdog in this fight. So I want everyone to be surprised on how good I am. And when I finish Jeremy Kennedy, they're gonna be impressed. Everyone who doubts me. My people won't be surprised, but the rest of the world will be. And I like that. I like the idea of surprising everyone.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Super exciting stuff, no doubt. But I do want to be mindful of your time as well, Nick. So, in kind of saying that, I figured I'd give you the floor if you maybe had a final parting thought you wanted to add as we're wrapping up here on MMA Canada. I really do appreciate the time today, man.
No, thanks for having me, dude. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, BFL. Thank you, Powell River BJJ. Thank you, Vinyl Jiu Jitsu. Thank you, Martial Arts Unlimited, for getting me ready. And I'm going to put on a hell of a show for everybody. Thank you to my wife, my brother, Nelson Sprue, Andrew Thistle, my coach. See you guys next week.
Yeah, your track record definitely speaks to exciting fights, rather, and same can be said for Jeremy Kennedy and whatnot. So, an incredible fight at BFL 85, man. It'll be really cool to see how things play out with this interim lightweight title fight on October 16th in that co main event there. And people can check that out on UFC Fight Pass, as I kind of touched on earlier. But again, to reiterate, Nick, thank you for coming on MMA Canada today. And yeah, I'll be checking out your fight when it goes down for sure. But until then, man, you have a good rest of your day. All the best.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again, man. Take care.